are recording.
Good evening. My name is Mark Doty. I wanted to welcome you to the first Comprehensive Safety Action Plan, or CASP, meeting for District 1. It's our community meeting number 1. Thank you again for joining and for watching this. And we will start with the presentation with some brief introductions. Again, my name is Mark Doty. I'm a project manager with TJKM. We have been selected, our team along with GHD, to work with Calaveras County on the Comprehensive Safety Action Plan. On the call also we have, part of this meeting, we also have Micah Martin, who's the Director of Public Works, and also Lori Dodge, who is our Public Works Analyst and our point contact for this project. Again, I am a project manager with TJKM. Ruta Jariwala, who's also on this call, is our principal and task lead, and then Grishma Padnya, who's a transportation planner, is also assisting with this project on the call. And with GHD, we have Melissa Estrada, who is a senior transportation project manager, and she is my right-hand person tonight helping to run this meeting. So going to the next slide, kind of an introduction of what we're going to talk about tonight. So what exactly is a Comprehensive Safety Action Plan? We'll go through the process of the CASP itself. We'll go over collision analysis findings, both for the county overall and then also for just District 1. We'll go over the high injury network again for the county and also for District 1, focusing on that. And then Melissa will do an interactive demonstration of the project website and the outreach, the interactive map tool outreach component. We'll go over what your role as a safety champion in District 1 is, and then we will discuss next steps. So what exactly is a Comprehensive Safety Action Plan? So whenever we talk about this, what we're saying is that Calaveras County is developing this through funding through the U.S. Department of Transportation as part of the Safe Streets and Roads for All, or SS4A grant program. So the county was able to apply for a grant. They received the grant funding to help improve safety on roadways and at intersections countywide. So kind of some of the guiding principles: we want to prioritize human life over speed, convenience, or property on all roadway design decisions. We do recognize that traffic deaths and severe injuries are preventable. We want to design your roadways within the county to account for that human error that will always occur. We want to promote slower speeds to create safer roadways for all users, again, people that walk, bike, and motorcyclists. That includes expanding all safe transportation options for those. We want to advance roadway safety equity using data-driven strategies and enforcement. And then we want to address collision risk proactively and reactively using both data and risk assessment. So the collision data that you'll see, the analysis, that is kind of reactive of what we've seen, but we want to try to think of those countermeasures and those projects that we can do to be proactive to try to cut down on the severe injuries and people losing their lives on Calaveras County roads. We want to align those transportation and land use policies to support that safety goal. And again, we want to implement proven and innovative strategies. We want to make sure that they're feasible as well for the community and for the county overall, with the ultimate goal, obviously, is to eliminate all traffic-related fatalities and serious injuries. This will take a commitment, though, from all of the residents within the county to ensure that the roads, vehicles, and traffic systems are as safe as possible for all users. So whenever we talk about the Comprehensive Safety Action Plan process, we started this with the project kickoff with the county in April of this year. Us on the TJKM side, we looked at the data for a 5-year period from 2020 to 2024. We gathered that from both the statewide databases that Caltrans maintains, but then also with assistance from the Sheriff's Department there, also in Calaveras County. We analyzed the collision trends and the needs analysis. We did focus really on killed and severe injury collisions because that is what the Comprehensive Safety Action Plan asks us to do. is to look at those in particular. And we've taken a look at the high injury networks there within the county. And those include the highest number of fatal and severe injury collisions. So where we are now in the process is our first stakeholder and community input portion of the process. We will have our first technical advisory committee with those members tomorrow. And this is one of 5 community outreach meetings that we're having within each supervisor's district within Calaveras County. So after tonight, what we'll do is we will start, based off the feedback that we receive from the community, from the technical advisory committee, we'll start developing our safety countermeasures. Then we'll have our second round of community input where we discuss that with the community, see if what we have proposed will work for each particular district. We will integrate those plans and prioritize those improvements, then give the opportunity for comments on the draft plan, and then hopefully get the comprehensive safety action plan finalized and adopted by the Board of Supervisors. So if we look then next at the collision analysis findings for the entire county from 2020 to 2024, you'll see again fatal severe injury, visible injury, and complaint of pain for a grand total of 356 injury collisions overall, with 21 of those being fatal, 75 of those being severe injury, 164 of those being visible injury, and then 96 being complaints of pain. One of the things that we like to talk about briefly is what do all those injury definitions mean? So whenever I say a fatal injury, that obviously means an injury that leads to death. It's a wound or a trauma that is so severe that unfortunately the victim does not survive it. A severe injury would cause significant physical harm that causes substantial damage or impairment to the body. This could be a brain injury, spinal cord injury, organ damage, or an amputation. It's a very serious medical condition that does require hospitalization. A visible injury refers to physical wounds or injuries to the body that are apparent to the naked eye. They can be observed and identified, again, without the need for medical examination. So this could be cuts, bruises, lacerations, broken bones, burns, abrasions, or any other kind of contusions. We do lump, obviously, internal injuries would be lumped in with severe injury as well. And then your complaints of pain, that is usually refers to someone that's experiencing pain, often without any visible or objective injury to confirm. So that could maybe, something like a sore neck, or if they're limping after because, the injury hit that side, maybe of the vehicle where they are. So that's what the injury definitions are, just to give you an understanding of what these mean moving forward. So if you look at the next slide. So for the killed and severe injury collisions, only what we can see is that you had 21 total for fatal, 75 severe injury countywide for a total of 96 total. And then you see on the lower left-hand side, the yearly trend, you have them maintain fairly steady on your injury collisions, which is your top bar. They spiked in 2023 and then have gone back down in 2024. 2024 is the last year they have the full year available of collision data. And then for your KSI collisions, you see that they have maintained somewhat a consistent between 17 to 25, and then they track down to a low of 14 in 2024. So if you take a look at the next slide, some of the collision analysis findings, the injury collisions by location, you see that your roadway segments there in Calaveras County are the supermajority of where these collisions occur, 71% for your KSI collisions, which is in the green, and the 64% in the injury collisions, which is the lighter green color. Your daily trend, as we look at, you have a spike in injury collisions on Thursdays, and then you have both KSI and injury collisions spiking on Saturday and Sunday. If we look at the mode, you can see most of them, both KSI and injury collisions, involve a passenger car or pickup truck. And then your next is involving a motorcycle. We're going to be focusing some of the presentation later on the motorcycle collisions. And then you see the monthly trend. You kind of have a high there in the summer months, June and July and August, and then they kind of tail back down and then spike back up in December for both KSI and injury collisions. Looking at the next slide, you'll see then the three highest violation categories are improper turning, DUI, and unsafe speed. Again, this is what the roadway, all of these support most of the collisions occurring on roadway segments. And then the injury collisions by collision type include hit object. Again, that's where people are either running off the road, running into a tree, or they are just hitting into something else along the roadway segment itself, or overturned. And this is probably where the motorcycle collisions are coming into play, particularly with the hit object and also the overturned as well. So the next slide then also shows again, focusing on those motorcycle collisions, this overall map of the county itself shows you where those are occurring. You had 8 fatal, 28 severe injury, 25 visible injury, and 8 complaint of pain, for a total of 69 involving motorcycle collisions during this time period. Again, the super majority of those are occurring along the roadway segments there in Calaveras County. If we look at some more collision analysis information, you'll see the yearly trend kept steady, just like the overall injury collisions. They peaked in 2023 and have gone back down in 2024. Most of your motorcycle collisions the injury collisions themselves are from visible injury, and then and the complaint of pain, and then severe injury, with your fatal there being your severe injury and your visible injury. So motorcycle collisions, when do these occur? They typically do occur in the daylight, both for your KSI collisions and for your injury collisions, within 28% and 19% occurring in the dark with no street lights. Again, that would back up and once you get in kind of the hills where there is absolutely no light at all where that is occurring. Taking the next set of collision analysis findings, your motorcycle collisions by collision type, again, they have overturned being the highest at 42 and 45% respectively, and then a hit object. Again, that is where the motorcyclists are actually running off the road, hitting a tree, hitting a guardrail, hitting a stone or an object that's actually off the roadway itself. In the motorcycle collisions by violation category, you can see that you have improper turning, DUI, unsafe speed, and then actually being on the wrong side of the road are all contributing factors for motorcycle collisions there in the county overall. So if we want to take a look at just District 1, what I wanted to also point out, and again, I apologize, I meant to do this at the very beginning of the presentation, is that we are just focusing on county maintained roads. Any of the roads that are Caltrans facilities, they have not been considered as part of this because the county is already working hand in hand with Caltrans to identify solutions to cut down on collisions within those facilities along those roadways that are Caltrans maintained. So again, this is just county-wide or county-maintained roadways outside of what Caltrans has purview on. So again, I apologize for not pointing that out at the very beginning. So focusing on your collision analysis findings for District 1, you see that there have been 3 fatal collisions, 19 severe injury, 43 visible injury, and 23 complaint of pain, for a total in District 1 during this time period, this 5-year time period, of 88. Looking at the next slide, kind of breaking this down even further, mirroring what the rest of the county looked like, you had that spike in 2023, both for your KSI collisions and also your injury collisions, with them then downward trending in 2024. Again, the roadway segments are your most dangerous there in District 1, with 68% of KSI and 64% of injury collisions. And then for District 1, the injury mode collision includes, again, passenger car, pickup truck, and then your motorcycle. If you notice here, your motorcycle is your highest for KSI collisions. within District 1. If we go to the next slide, then we also talk about the improper turning, DUI, unsafe speed and wrong side of the road, being injury collisions by violation category, the tops within District 1. And then your daylight, again, most of these are occurring in daylight with 82% and 70% of the KSI and injury collisions. Whenever we talk about the collision type, oh, one more, sorry, yeah. We talk about the injury collisions by collision type. Again, those are your hit objects, both for KSI and injury collisions. Again, that's where they actually run off the road, hit something, a tree, a stone, something else that's off the road itself, within head-on and then sideswipe, overturned, which again would fall within maybe some of the motorcycle collisions that are occurring, head-on, sideswipe, and rear end then. And now your next set of slides, we talk about the high injury network. We look at the corridors for the entire county. So this is what we talk about. We rank these based off of the collision severity. So if we go to the next slide, actually, you can see that we look at, fatal, severe injury, visible injury, complaint, and pain, KSI collisions, injury collisions. We look at all of these things that add up to a particular number. We take a look at that number and then rank that based off of what the severity is along that roadway section. So you can see your most high injury network is Little John Road from Kiva Drive to Town Square Road with 2 fatal injuries. And then you have then Baldwin Street, Railroad Flat, O'Byrne's Ferry Road. The ones that are bolded and then italicized also, E, F, H, and I are those that are actually located within District 1 itself. So Mountain Ranch Road from Sheep Ranch Road to St. Charles Street, Southward Road from Burson to State Route 12, and then Pole Station Road from St. Charles Street to State Route 4, and then Burson Road from Comanche Parkway to State Route 26. So these are the highest high injury network corridors, again, countywide, and then you have these 4 that are within District 1 itself. So if you go to the next slide, yeah, so this again shows you within the county limits itself where those are located. Again, you have quite a few long roadway segments where all of the collisions are clustered in certain particular areas. So if we look at the next slide, then Melissa, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you do your interactive demonstration for the project webpage.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mark. So for the plan, the county has created a webpage accessible via the link shown here, which is safestreets.calaveras.gov.us. You could also click on the QR code shown below. So if you have a smartphone, you could just take a picture of that QR code and it will link you directly to the project webpage. So on the webpage, we provide general information regarding the Comprehensive Safety Action Plan, including FAQs related to that plan type. Specific to this plan, we list the project timeline, project documents to be uploaded in the future, as well as upcoming public meeting information. Additionally, the webpage includes a How You Can Help section, whereby you can provide your input in 3 different ways, via the survey, via the interactive map, and through the project sign-up sheet. So now for these next 2 slides, I'll conduct a live demonstration of the interactive map. So starting from the project website, I'm going to scroll down to the How You Can Help section. So here we see the 3 methods where you can provide your input. I'm going to click on the box for the interactive map. And here you see the interactive map. So the first thing I want to do is find the location where I would like to input my comment. I can do that by inputting an address in the search bar. I can zoom into the map with my mouse or with my finger if I'm using a tablet. And alternatively, I can use the zoom in plus sign embedded within the map as well. And one nice feature of the map is that you can select your base map as well. So the default is kind of a street view, but for purposes of this illustration, I'm going to select the aerial map, which provides a little bit more detail. So as an example, I'm just going to hone in on the community of San Andreas, something maybe along the Mountain Ranch Road. Let's say, for example, I'm traveling westbound and I have a challenge at this intersection. So I've already zoomed in and identified my location. So I'm going to select this add a marker, green marker, and I'm going to input my marker in the location of where I have the issue. And then a pop-up appears. So I get to select my comment category. So here these are, again, this is a comprehensive safety action plan. So we're looking at transportation for all modes. So here we have, if you want to input a comment for walking, for bicycling, for driving, for motorcycling, related to kids and access to schools, or just a general safety comment, you can do that as well. So for this particular example, let's say it's a driving comment, and I could say something like traveling on westbound Mountain Ranch Road, the free right is difficult, and I feel unsafe. So again, that's just inputted for illustrative purposes. But in order to submit your comment, you do need to input your email address as well. But listed here, your email will not be shared with the public, so it will appear as an anonymous input. And you could also choose to select upload files. So if you had a picture to further illustrate the issue that you're having at your location, you can do that. So to submit my comment, I'm just going to submit the comment, click on the submit comment button, and that will post my comment. Again, I'm not going to do it for this exercise. I'm just going to cancel that. And going back to the street view, another feature of this map is you can zoom out and you can see where people have already submitted a comment. So if we zoom out completely, we see a number of comments that have been inputted. So the red markers are the driving comments. The green markers are the bicycling comments, and there's one walking comment that's been inputted as well. So you can zoom in again and see what other people have said. So I'm going to click on this red marker in the San Andreas community, and someone, an anonymous person on August 27th, noted that at this location of around St. Charles Street, pulling out onto the highway from the high school. Let's say I also found that a difficult location to navigate from being a motorist. I can select to upward and like that comment and agree with it, or if I disagreed, I could also vote a downward vote as well. So this is just information that you can view, again, what other members of your community are saying and agree, or add your own additional input. And I believe that's all for the demonstration projects. Let's see. Let me pass this back to Mark.
Okay, great. So again, what is your role as a safety champion? What are we looking for with community members there in Calaveras County? Obviously, we want you to review and provide input on the efforts of this particular comprehensive safety action plan. And as Melissa just demonstrated, we want you to tell us about your safety and traffic related issues that are related to either your specific community there within the county or the county overall. If you travel quite a bit around the county, what are there other areas that are with maybe outside of your home area that you are most concerned about? What have you heard from your neighbors as well? And then are there particular routes, either emergency or common transit destinations within the county that are especially important or challenging for you as a resident? Again, the data tells us one thing as traffic engineers, but we need to hear from the community, which is why it's very important for your input as part of this particular project. Because the data, again, tells us one thing, but if there are near misses, or again, as that comment illustrated earlier, if people are pulling out, especially in front of a school and it's dangerous, there may not have been accidents that have occurred yet, maybe in that particular area, but there are certainly near misses. And we want to be proactive with this to try to cut down on hopefully any severe or fatal injuries that may occur in the future. And then we want you to share the project details with your neighbors and other community members, again, to help increase awareness and involvement in this project. So that is why community feedback, getting involved, and especially attending meetings, checking back with this web page, the project web page whenever we have updated information, and then interacting with the map tool itself is so important. If we go to the next slide, I believe if you want to go again to the next slide, we'll talk about our next steps. So based off the feedback that we received from our 4 other public outreach meetings in each district, we will then start identifying those collision profiles and working to consider countermeasures and other safety strategies. And then again, working with the staff and then also the technical advisory committee, we'll kind of hone those down and start really identifying priority project locations within the county and within each district. We'll come back to each district for in-person meetings where we will conduct a second round to gather additional feedback and comment once we have those draft priority project locations ready for review. And at this time, that is all that we have for this particular presentation. Again, we want to thank you for watching this or listening to this, and we hope that you will go to the project webpage and fill that information out, give us your thoughts, your feedback as well. Thank you. So Melissa, I don't know if you